Hey, and welcome to Fit with Turo Fitness Podcast, a podcast for people who want to get no BS information about fitness and know that fitness is about so much more than losing scale weight. It's about feeling confident in your skin and empowered in your life. I'm your host, Turo Virta, personal trainer, strength and nutrition coach, and most of all, a husband of my beautiful wife, Miriam. Each week, my guests and me will give you some no BS fitness tips and motivate you to take action in your own personal fitness journey as we talk about nutrition, exercise, mindset, personal development, and executing in life with enjoyable but still effective strategies. If your goal is to look better, feel and be strong and experience transformation from inside out, you, my friend, are in the right place. Thank you for jumping in, and now let's jump into today's episode. Hey, and welcome to Fit Me to a Fitness podcast. In today's episode, I'm talking about holiday season and how to not ruin your progress during the holidays. So in this episode, I'm sharing my best strategies, what I'm doing during the holiday season, and how you can implement these simple strategies to make most out of it. And the goal with all these plans is to still keep doing something, because it's a December holiday season. It's by far the most challenging time for many people. I would say that 90% of my clients are struggling in the month of December with their health and fitness, and then feeling kind of guilt and shame about losing progress. And then thinking like that now you are postponing the start, like that it's you are thinking like, okay, now it doesn't matter anymore because I will start then in January. I will go to diet, start exercising. And to avoid this, there are a couple things what you could be doing already now, and so that you can still make progress and also enjoy the holiday season without kind of trying to be perfect. So this was one of my best ways to think about this. First is to determine what is the progress. So think it like what is the progress? Progress is not always that you are losing weight, you are getting stronger. It could be progress if you think like that. What have happened, for example, last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, during this time, and if you have gained, let's say, you have gained 5 kilos or a couple of kilos of weight within the past years, and this year you are maintaining your weight. So that is actually progress, and it's not that because there is so many things like that. You don't obviously it might be actually a time for many people just to put themselves into a maintenance and not even aiming for making some visible changes or visible progress. So often even maintaining your results is a progress. So it's always comparing where you have been in the past and where you are aiming to go. So think it this way, that progress is not always linear. There is a different kind of progress, because ultimately the only way to measure your progress is to compare where you have been in the past, and all those other expectations what you get, they are coming from somebody else or from somewhere else. So even maintaining your progress or not gaining as much weight as last year, that is a progress comparing for last year. So just keep that first of all in your mind, and think it like that. What is the like? This is one of the what I when I started this month, like I'm doing in my membership coaching or balanced lifestyle blueprint, my coaching program, and with my one-on-one coaching clients, we are doing monthly challenges, and often it's actionable challenge, like would be monthly step goal, doing some exercise, like just or planning your meals, or some kind of goal, like one simple goal to pay attention for each month. And month of December, I decided that we are going to put a consistency goal. And this is because often people think that during this time it doesn't matter, I'm overeating, there is going to be so many different kind of dinners, occasions where you are going to go over your calories. So it's not even worth of it to keep trying or keep starting, because it's going to be ruined anyways. And this month we started to do consistency, and we are consistency challenge, and that means that you are picking 1 to 3 goals. Like it, I can't recommend to take, or I told very clearly that do not take more than 3 goals. Even there are, you might know that there is like maybe 10, 15 things what you should be doing. But if you try to do everything, and it's getting overwhelming, and most of the people, what happens when they get overwhelmed is that they end up doing nothing. So that's why not more than 3, even 3 is a plenty. And ideally I would focus just maybe 1 thing or 2 things, and it could be a simple things like, and a consistency goes, the goal is not to be perfect, to do it every single day, but to be able to see some visible results. You should aim for around 80% consistency. So it means that when this episode is coming out, there is like 26 days. So if you aim for your 80% consistency, it's around 20 days what you should be aiming for hitting your goal. So that's not that sounds, there's still 6 days where you can miss your consistency goals, or not, that you have that freedom to also enjoy and not think about too much about fitness. But with 80% consistency, you can achieve amazing results and make progress, like I talked earlier. So think goals like what I recommended is to have for example, goals like eating 1 big salad per day, hitting your protein goal, or having protein at least 1 meal per day, or plan and prepare 1 meal per day. It could be your breakfast, it could be your lunch, dinner, something what you don't actually do at the moment, or hitting 1, 2, 3 workouts per week, whatever number you decide, but to pick yourself up. Don't think this number that it have to be perfect, but just the one number what feels like that it's relatively easy. It shouldn't be something that it's going to happen in ideal week, but it's just that what you feel like that this is already challenged at this time. And for me personally, my goal have been always to stay consistent with my strength training, and at the moment I'm kind of almost ashamed to commit that at the moment, with all my schedule, my workouts. Usually I aim for 2 to 3 workouts per week, but at this time it has been maybe 1, maybe 2 sessions. And sessions, if I call them sessions, they are like mini workouts. They are 15, max 30-minute sessions. So I'm getting maybe 30 minutes strength training, 45 minutes per week in. And of course, I know that that is not amount that I'm going to make amazing progress or doing something, but it helps so much, because I used to think that I start when I have more time, but with experience, when I started strength training now a couple of years ago, again, doing it consistently, I changed my own expectations for myself, and decided that I'm going to keep my promises and to get started. And regardless how busy my schedule is, I'm going to get started. If it's going to be 10 minutes, if it's going to be 15-minute session, if it's only once per week, but just keeping promises for myself, what I make. Because what happened in the past was that I kind of said that now I don't have time. Then week passed. Then it was so much easier for next week to find another excuse why not to get started, why not to do it. Because, there's always something that I could find, some kind of excuse, like several of them, why I couldn't, how I could talk myself out of doing the work, what I know that I needed the most. And this way, I feel so much better when I still get started, get my, even it's going to be short routine in, and feeling stronger, avoiding injuries. And then I hope when times are getting a bit easier, maybe in January, it's so much easier to start adding things, doing more than starting all over. And ultimately, that consistency, it gives so much more better results than aiming for perfect short amount of time being perfect. So just this is just my personal thing, what I do, and that I hope it helps you, to give you perspective also, that it don't need to be a lot to make progress. And then other examples, if you are struggling drinking enough water, it could be aiming for 2 liters, 3 liters, whatever number you aim to decide per day. It could be aiming for hitting your fiber goal, which is very, very important for especially for being satiated, eating, feeling fuller, and kind of these kind of things, adding things like a protein, fiber, salads. They are helping so much because that it gives you that feel of fullness for several reasons. Protein, fiber, they are most satiating macronutrients, and it when you focus on adding those things, you are going to feel less sweet cravings. You are going to feel fuller, and automatically you will be eating something else less. So there is not that urge of eating sweets or whatever so much when you hit those things. And if you get big salad, if you eat one big salad per day, then it gives with a lower amount of calories. And obviously, if you don't add too much kind of sauces or dressings, you are going to feel fuller with low calories because those volumes are just so high. So adding things instead of trying to focus on what you can't, what you shouldn't be doing, is so much more powerful than just aiming to take things away or just telling yourself that I'm going to take these things away. Other option, what we have, what I talked with a couple of my clients, were just focusing because they were saying that they can't stop eating sweets, that they are seeing them when you have them visible. They are just before even realizing it, it's in your mouth, and you don't you then you realize that holy shit, what I just did, I didn't mean to do it. And one thing is to eat your portion, your snacks or your sweets. Like one strategy, what I love to use is basically deciding how many amount of calories. This is what I did at the moment, not, but earlier I was focusing on picking a number. For me, I personally chose 300 calories. And with 300 calories, it could be cookies, it could be chocolate, it could be candies, whatever I wanted. And I portioned those with some Tupperware boxes, portioned my kind of treat budget. And that was enough for a day. Then it was for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, every weekday, one box or different type of things that whatever I wanted, I could have it. And but there was some kind of limitation how much of it I could have, so it was not only mindless. And other thing with those kind of rules what you make for yourself, they are so powerful if you are more aware. And even it happens always sometimes that you, like in this one of my clients who said that they she just don't realize before it was kind of already too late, is the thing is like that it happens every once in a while. And even if you think like that you would do it like 10 times in a row, if you are able to think about it, pause yourself, set a timer, for example, for 5 minutes, it's a progress. If it happens once, 1 out of 10 times, 2 out of 10 times, obviously it's not perfect, but it's a progress. And this is also a way of thinking like that. This is how to compare yourself and what you think is a progress. So just these couple things, uh, examples what we have been doing, what kind of goals you could be doing, and a consistency calendar. It's just basically mm, printing out some calendar of the month, and we are marking it with the red circle, no, with red X all days when you didn't hit your consistency goal, if it was one or two of those things. And then it's a red X when you didn't, and a green circle when you did. So it's kind of visible. If you have it in your freezer or somewhere visible, it helps you to give that awareness. And other things like those, just simply trying to wait. So other things for Christmas dinners and all kind of fests. Like I don't like to tell that you can't have something, because it's a time for me, at least Christmas holiday season, when it's time to enjoy. And it doesn't, like if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, what you are enjoying yourself, you are not making or losing your progress during that time. So think it allow yourself to also enjoy foods. And the only ways how I think like that every kind of that kind of thing is to think as mindfully as possible. So simple mindful eating tips like just trying to aiming to eat as slow as possible. So first of all, that you are sitting, you are happy what you decided to eat, and then like just maybe taking a little bit smaller portion first, and then wait for another 5 minutes before getting a second round or something. So these all kind of things, they are helping you to kind of avoid that overeating. What often happens, it probably, even I'm talking about these things, I'm still pretty sure that it will happen for me also during Christmas time, that I will eat too much, because there is it's like here in Italy we have traditionally there is so many different foods, and they are so delicious, and I love food, I gotta say, and I love eating a lot, and it feels like that even you take just a little bit of something, and those the best ones you take maybe second round, it's almost always I'm pretty sure I'm ending up eating too much. But that's why it helps me also to talk about these things and to remind myself when that situation comes, that what I'm going to do, and how to actually avoid it. So it's just basically pausing yourself, making sure, like what I try to always recommend, or try to do myself, that I eat first, like order, basically it doesn't matter, but I love paying attention order which I'm eating food. So first I love to eat always kind of low calorie options like a salad first before anything else. Then I aim to eat my protein source, and then slowing things down. So first of all, to have those most important things. So to have my protein source, to have my salad, having that kind of volume with lower calories, and then eating everything else. And in between, waiting as long as possible. So this way, I'm already, more often than not, I'm already going to feel fuller in a time, if I would comparing like that, if I would eat first all those like good stuff what I enjoy, or safe place. So this in order of eating and waiting, those are just the simple things. And other thing is with the water. I love to drink always glass of water before I start eating. So it gives also that feeling of fullness, and that I'm not making sure that I'm not thirsty while I'm still hungry, because it's sometimes it's really hard to recognize that if you are actually thirsty, or if you are hungry. So those couple things are things what I personally love to do, and what I always love to recommend. Then there is, of course, you could be, if you are baking, making cookies, you could aim to find some alternatives, like. But this is something like that. This is it really depends. Like if you like, I bake cookies once in a year for Christmas. It's not for myself, but for my clients, and in my group workouts. And I make traditionally Finnish cookies, which are so delicious. And in that case, I'm not modifying anything. Maybe a little bit amount of sugar. I put a little bit less than original recipe says, as I personally, I don't feel any difference. And in the end, it's only good thing to avoid it. But I'm not trying to find with some other things. If I happen to make, I always love to find some alternatives. Like maybe they are not the healthiest options, but I'm not eating them too much. So kind of sugar replacements, artificial sweeteners, and those kind of things, using them instead of sugars, or just but basically finding some healthier alternatives in those original recipes. As original recipes, I feel that sometimes they are just made of that, they don't think about how healthy they are, or your weight loss goals or something. It's just made of without sacrificing any taste. But some things like
like for me, if I make Christmas cookies, I'm not going to sacrifice. I do one type of cookies every single year. I'm not going to sacrifice too much of taste. It's that's not the time. Then I do some other options rather, and find a ways to save my calories or do in a different way than swapping some healthier options. So those are just a couple ideas how you could do it. And then other thing is about the workouts. Like I find like that the best way, especially during the Christmas time, I don't necessarily like push myself to strength train. I might take a week off during the Christmas time, or at least I'm not going to do a lot of strength training. So it's sometimes it's doing only good for your body to take some easier time, and it there's you are not losing any progress if it's a plan. Like I love to plan these things ahead. So then I don't feel that guilt. I'm not aiming for doing between Christmas and New Year 5 workouts. If I know that most likely I will not do it, then I tell myself rather that I'm not going to do any. So then, and instead I'm aiming for being active. I love going to hikes, walking a lot. So those are going to be my actions. Maybe I'm going to play ice hockey. I'm refereeing in a Christmas time. So I will stay active in another way, what I naturally enjoy, and just simply taking off week. It's not going to, but what is very, very important for me is that I plan when I restart, and that is non-negotiable. I'm not going to tell myself that I will start January 2nd, and then January 2nd, I will say that no, I will start 8th. And then at 8th, it's going to be that, it's going to be 15th. So those, if I make some promises for myself, I make sure that I will keep them and at least getting started with workout. So other things like I said, workouts, you could be doing some very short sessions instead of aiming for, let's say you are doing normally 1 hour or 45 minutes, do 10 minutes, do 15 minutes or 5 minute workouts. And it doesn't need to be a lot. You could be doing a body weight workout, just a couple squats, just because it's really like maintaining your muscle is relatively easy. Maintaining your progress is relatively easy, and it doesn't need a lot. It just need what matters a lot more is consistency. Or other options are like if your endurance is important for you, incorporating like kind of heat workouts, intervals, which are time effective, so you can make every minute count what you have. So these are kind of tips for workouts, but I rather focus on spending time with the family, staying active, and doing some other things like holiday gatherings. If you have dinners, we usually go at least 25th, 26th. We go before we go for a big dinner. We are doing some longer walk or something like, or at least getting some fresh air. So this is, and it has been such a game changer for Christmas time, because usually it's I feel like I can't do it anymore. But if you are going for a walk or just some simple easy activity, that is helping so much. And also it helps with the mental health, and if you are in a position that you have relatively high stress levels at the moment, it's such an important to have to do these kind of outside activities to reduce that stress. And other option what I recently found out is to do some kind of breathing exercises. So those are like, especially after workout, taking time like a couple minutes, 2 to 5 minutes time to breathing exercises. And this was some technique what I learned from Tom Swales in my recent podcast. He told about it, like how to focus on your breathing. And we have been doing it with my group now for the past group workouts, and people have been loving them. So right after a workout, or this, you could be doing it basically anywhere. So just taking a couple minutes of time and just focusing on your breathing. We are laying down on our back, and kind of in a strength, arms above your head, and just it's kind of also kind of stretching for your abdominal shoulders, and then focusing on breathing, and focusing 3 to 4 seconds breathing in through your nose, and very long 6 to 8 seconds breathing out through your mouth, and doing that for a couple of minutes. It helps. First of all, it helps with the recovery, as you are sending signals to your body that, okay, now that hard work is done, now it's time to start recovery. Because if you don't do it, your body is still going, especially if it was a harder workout, it still goes. Your body doesn't understand that now it's done, we are done. But when you do these kind of breathing exercises, you connect your nervous system, and it tells you are telling to your body that now it's done, we are done here, and now you can start recovering. So it helps with the with that recovery part. So those kind of things. And for mental health, I always love to take, like, cause it's especially now, it's a time when those expectations, and I gotta say that I personally struggle with my own expectations, that, sometimes I really think that when is enough, what is enough, when you will be feeling, because it feels like that continuously you are wanting something more. You want to help more people, you want to make more money, you want to do this and this and this, and always something more, and you are never basically happy and grateful what you already have. So it's a time, end of the year, like I have a birthday on January 8th. It's a time when I take usually at least 30-minute time for myself, writing down everything what I'm grateful, what I have accomplished. And it's not about focusing what I would or should be doing more, or how could I get something more. It's just basically stopping, looking what I have, what is good in the moment, and that helps. That kind of reflection and gratitude, it helps when you look back for the past year or past 6 months. And then, of course, then another one is setting goals for next year. But first, I always love to reflect on the past year and looking what I have achieved within the past year, and practicing that gratitude, because it feels, at least for me, it feels such a hard task to practice that gratitude, and being able to reflect for everything what I have accomplished past year. Because during when there is a regular days, it feels always that you are busy trying to accomplish so many things, and then feels like that there's always something more what you should be doing, and you are basically never, or at least I'm never really like satisfied what I have accomplished. Even there might be, for someone else it might be a lot, but then this kind of reflection, it helps so much that to understand that how far what you have actually accomplished. Because often what most people focus on those things which are not good, and what you should be doing more, and not being able to feel that gratefulness for things what you have accomplished. So this is for mental health such an important thing, that what I'm going to do. And I hope if you are listening this, that you take a time also to try it, to feel gratitude, because that's going to be a game changer, I promise you. Other things, like I said, goal setting for new year. So it's also time when I try to sit down, think that what I could be doing, what are realistic goals, and what are kind of achievable. And those are always like, for my own health, I made a decision that was, I think 2 years ago, when I said that for my strength training, that this is the promise, what I'm going to do. And the way how I do it, I look my calendar. Usually it's on Sunday. I decide a week ahead when I see my schedule that when I'm going to do my workouts, I put them into my calendar, and that has been a game changer. That has been a game changer for me, and taking, like, it doesn't matter for me how busy my schedule is. My own health and fitness is just as big high priority for me that I'm going to do it. It was it was 2 years ago when my dad unfortunately passed away in end of January 2 years ago, and that was a tough journey to see his struggles, and that was kind of wakening me up, thinking like that if I don't take my own health now, I might end up having the same struggles than he had, losing his health basically at age of 60, losing his life at age of 70. And last 10 years were really, really struggle. So it was just for me like just a wake up call and thinking like that I'm 42 now. At the time I was 40 and thinking like that if I have 20 years quality life left, of course you never know what is going to happen in life, but I was like, holy shit, that is not a lot. That years are passing so quickly that I gotta make sure that I do now everything I can for my own health and not finding excuses. It's so I'm okay accomplishing a bit less, making a bit less money or whatever these kind of things that if it's away from something, because there is no amount of money what gives your health back. Once you lose it, it's almost impossible to gain it back. So I wanted to be sure that I'm doing now everything I can so that hopefully one day when I'm 60, 70, 80 years old, I'm not looking back and tell myself that I wish I would do this and this at the time. And I can look back that I did and say that I did everything I could at the moment with my best knowledge. And that's basically everything what I think like that. And if you think like that, because if I would make, let's say that I would make now more money, what I would do with more money if I'm ending up losing my health as a relatively young age. So these were kind of my thoughts and tips for New Year. I hope and wish you and your loved ones very, very enjoyable holiday time. If you are celebrating it, if you are just having a couple of days off, take time, enjoy without feeling guilty, and try to remember at least 1-2 things what I talked in this episode, and hopefully they help you. So thank you for listening, and for those who haven't give 5-star rating in iTunes or in Spotify, I would really appreciate if you think that this was worth of 5 stars, as they are helping me so much. So that's all what I'm asking. And if you have already done it, huge thank you. I really, really appreciate. I love reading them, and they are helping me to reach more people. So thank you for listening, and talk to you soon.
Hold up, friend. Do you love Fit Me Turo Fitness podcast? If so, the best way to say thank you is to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review on iTunes. I know every podcaster wants you to leave a review, but it's because those reviews help the podcast to reach more people. I truly want to know what you think, and if this particular episode resonated with you, would you also please share it? Either send a link to someone who you think will find it valuable, or take a screenshot and post it into your social media and tell your friends and family why they should listen it. Make sure you tag me so I can hear your feedback and give you a little love. And if you aren't already following me on Instagram or TikTok, that's the perfect time to hit that follow button. Thank you for being here and listening to Fit Me Turo Fitness podcast.